So how do we change the actual size of the artboard itself? Well, like I said, there are a few ways to do it, and really the most important thing is the Artboards tool. Now, I pointed this out briefly earlier on. You can see it's over here in the Tools palette. And if I hover over that, you can see it has a simple keyboard shortcut, Shift and O. So that's definitely one you want to remember because we're going to use it a lot moving forward from here. Now, before we select that, let's just hit the F key so we can view our entire document, go into our full screen mode, and make sure that we're still on our single card layout here, okay? Because what we want to do is adjust the artboard for this particular document. So I'm just going to move it into the center here. So if I use that Shift-O keyboard so we access our Artboards tool, you can see that we now have a change in what we're seeing on screen. We've got a dotted area around the outside of our document, and this is defining the letter page size that we saw in the previous section, and it's also grayed out on the outside. But more importantly is the control panel across the top here has changed to an entire range of options specific for these artboards. So first off, on the left hand side, you can see here are the presets. So if we decided at the beginning we created the wrong type of document size, we can simply come here and there are all those presets that we saw right back at the start. So very cool to know that they're there. What's also handy is you can switch between portrait and landscape in your layouts very, very quickly on the selected artboard. If you have multiples, then you can do it individually, but it's really cool that you can switch back and forth here. Now, you can also name artboards. We'll get onto that in just a second, but importantly, you can also see over here on the right-hand side the width and the height. And again, because this is a print document in letter format, its settings are set to inches, which is why you're seeing the sizes referenced here. So very cool that you can change all of this. But the reason I want to show you the tool as well is that the artboard area is draggable, okay? And you've probably figured that out by rolling your cursor over the corners or over these points or the line. You can simply drag this around on the page and redefine the custom size that you need. Now that's cool in itself. The other cool thing is that any of the elements on your page, the artwork, will also force the artboard to snap to the edge of it, because remember those smart guide settings that I showed you earlier on? Those smart guides are on by default. So as you start dragging this area around, you see that the green selection comes up as intersect. Well, that's a smart guide. It's telling us we found a point, which happens to be on an artboard here. And as we drag it around towards our artwork, you'll see it snaps into the corner there on the anchor point of the rectangle that's in the background of our artwork. So likewise, you can do the same with the lower left-hand side. We can drag up and snap in here. You can drag left and right. Maybe you did want a little bit more space on one side to add, some print specifications or something. It's very, very flexible, but the nice thing is we're now defining an artboard area, which you can see the crop marks are attached to as well, that will output at just that size and give us precisely the dimensions that we're looking for to start with. So we're not doing everything inside these larger documents and wasting that space around the outside. Now, when you're done with the Artboards tool, what I will suggest is you hit the V key. Now, this is one of our major shortcuts that we'll use throughout. The V key will basically take you back to the selection tool. You can see that up here in the upper left side of the tools palette. So remember, we have Shift-O for our artboards, V to take us back to the selection tool so we don't make any accidental changes and we retain all of the adjustments that we've now made to that artboard.